This is the Brave New Coin Crypto Conversation, hosted by Andy Pickering.
Hi everyone, Andy Pickering here. I'm your host and welcome to the Crypto Conversation, a Brave New Coin podcast where we talk to the people building the future in the Bitcoin, blockchain and cryptocurrency space. Hey folks, we have a new sponsor here at the Crypto Conversation. Today's episode is brought to you by Coinsbee.com, the go-to platform for spending your crypto. With the biggest selection of brands across all gift card platforms and live in over 185 countries, Coinsbee supports the most relevant local brands for your everyday needs. They support more than 200 cryptocurrencies and offer a vast product range from gift cards, game points to mobile phone top-ups. Can't find what you're looking for? No worries. Coinsbee also offers Visa and MasterCard prepaid cards. So just go to Coinsbee.com and turn your digital assets into real-world possibilities. And now it is on with the show. My guest today is Daniel Dizon. Daniel is the founder and CEO at Swell Labs. Swell Labs is a major contributor to the Swell protocol DAO and ecosystem. Of course, Swell is a non-custodial ETH liquid staking protocol that helps you optimize your yield in DeFi. Welcome to the show, Daniel.
Thanks for having me, Andy. It's a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you here, Daniel. Let's do what we do at the beginning of the show. Could you please introduce yourself? Some people will know who you are, but some people won't. So, for those that don't, please just give us some of your backstory, what you've been doing in the lead up to, creating Swell Labs.
Yeah, thanks so much. So my name's Daniel. I'm the founder of Swell. Swell is a non-custodial liquid Ethereum staking protocol. My background's been a mix of finance, technology, and innovation. Prior to founding Swell, was a corporate advisor to various clients on blockchain, digital assets, and portfolio management, and also was a Web2 entrepreneur. So co-founded, scaled, and exited a traditional SaaS business, and then have always been sort of interested and passionate about crypto, in particular DeFi, mainly from a philosophical standpoint, and then saw an opportunity in early 2022, sort of late 2021, to contribute to the ecosystem by building out Swell, which is a liquid staking protocol, and saw not only the commercial opportunity, but more importantly, the sort of importance at a systemic level to ensure a healthy, diversified, and decentralized liquid staking protocol. And here we are today.
Sure. And so, look, can very much understand with the merge, Ethereum's move to proof of stake, certainly an opportunity for, I guess, entrepreneurs such as yourself to spin up various variations on the liquid staking protocols. That's exactly what has happened. So we can talk about that. I'm interested in, though, Daniel, you said that you're really interested in the wonderful world of DeFi, particularly from a philosophical point of view. So I think we can get a sense of what that means, but love you to flesh that out. And yeah, let's put some color on the tree.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's really a confluence of sort of the cypherpunk philosophy, as well as economics slant, particularly on Austrian economics, and these ideas out of Hayek, Rothbard, Mises, in regards to things like competitive currencies, things like stateless currencies and that sort of thing. And then, like most people, you delve into Bitcoin first, and then you move into Ethereum, and then you see all the innovation that's happening on Ethereum and the programmability of it, and the ecosystem of builders and that sort of thing, and the capital flow to the system, and then try to remain true to those original crypto values, which, expressively so is things like self-sovereignty, privacy, autonomy, and sort of self-custody, censorship resistance, all these sorts of things. And then the sort of expression of that is through building out whatever layer of the stack that you want to build on, and in particular with Ethereum as the base layer for effectively the future of finance, i.e. decentralized finance, i.e. DeFi. I thought there was an opportunity to help contribute to that wider architecture being built out, and the primitive that I chose was on liquid staking. That's now the biggest category in DeFi at the moment, and powers a lot of the other categories like lending and borrowing, DEXs and that sort of thing.
Yeah, very much so. And look, just for anyone that doesn't understand what liquid staking is and the importance of it to the current state of the Ethereum network, do you want to just give us kind of your quick high-level summary of what that is and how it works?
Yeah, sure thing. So, like at a principles level, staking is a way to secure the network. So Ethereum moved to a fully POS system in September of last year with the merge, and what that enabled was the consensus mechanism to merge between the existing blockchains that are running separately. But just at a simple level, what it is, it's a way to secure the network. And then in exchange for securing the network or putting your ether at stake, you earn rewards. And the whole point of liquid staking is to do that in a way where you can earn rewards, but also get the advantage of rehypothecating that collateral, using it again. So in traditional vanilla, or i.e. liquid staking, illiquid staking, you have to choose, like, do I want to use my ETH to earn staking rewards, or do I want to use it in DeFi, like to use as collateral or something like that? That was, before liquid staking, that was the trade-off, but now you can do both. So what happens is people will liquid stake, and then they'll receive an LST in return, which is like a receipt token. They'll earn rewards, but they can also use that again in DeFi, whether it's to provide liquidity or to collateralize a stable coin or something like that. The other advantage as well of liquid staking is that it abstracts away all the complexity of sort of spinning up your own validator and managing that as well. So it reduces the technical hurdles, and there's some financial hurdles as well that it sort of abstracts away. So it's really, really easy for the user and should be a net benefit to the Ethereum ecosystem, because the more that's staked, the higher the sort of the economic security is for Ethereum, because it's more sort of costly to attack and that sort of thing.
That's right. And of course, one of the crucial aspects that you alluded to there, Daniel, is, for someone to spin up a node, you need 32 ETH, right? And 32 ETH is not that much ETH, but in certain parts of the world, it actually is a lot of ETH. And, that does very, very much price a lot of people out of being able to, stake their ETH, which is not cool and not really congruent with the principles of crypto. So, of course, the Swell network and some of these other protocols also enable just average everyday users who might not have a big bag of ETH. It means that they can stake their ETH as well and participate in those same rewards, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Tell us then, Daniel, like I was looking at Swell, and I know there's one of the big platforms is Lido that people will be aware of. Then there's some others like Swell that are just also reasonably big. Love to understand, I suppose, the scale of whatever numbers you want to use in terms of like how many people are staking ETH via Swell, how much ETH is being staked, and you call them Voyages, I think. So maybe we can talk through some numbers, and then we can tell the Voyager story.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ethereum staking overall is still in a relatively early or nascent stage. There's about 20% of all ETH staked at the moment, and if you compare that against other sort of fully POS, more mature systems, it's hovering more towards sort of 50 to 80% range. So we still have some multiples to go in terms of the ETH that's going to be staked, and a lot of that was catalyzed or de-risked in an upgrade called Chapella, which happened in, I think, April of this year. So now you can do redemption, you can do withdrawals. I guess that's the first thing, is that there's going to be more stake coming. The other thing is that yes, there isn't sort of a concentration of market share within the top players. A lot of that is just just the nature of the actual vertical itself. It does tend towards these flywheels on flywheels sort of emergent phenomenon. And Swell itself, so we have been live for a touch over about 3 months, I believe, and we're one of the fastest growing DeFi protocols and one of the largest recipients of new inflows. And we scaled up to nearly 45,000 ETH, which in sort of today's terms is just north of 80 million USD. And so we've been able to add, circa 3,000 ETH a week consistently, and we expect that number to uptick as well. And part of the success of that was we had the opportunity to have a look at what worked in the market, what didn't work, and why, and how we could build around that and also introduce our own sort of bits and pieces of innovation. And one of these bits and pieces of innovation was to drive a real community gamified approach to bootstrapping liquidity. And so what we have done is create something called the Voyage, which is a way to incentivize and reward early adopters and early stakers into Swell protocol. And as a result, what happens is people who stake with Swell at our current stage will earn what's effectively like a points-based campaign or pearls, which is what we're calling it. And these pearl hunters or the people that are accruing pearls will then be able to effectively redeem Swell token in exchange for those pearls when we do our TGE and then instantiate the DAO more officially. And so that has been a success to date. Not only do we have sort of the 80 million FDV and continuing to grow, we also have 10,000 unique wallets. We just passed that milestone, I think, in the last 12 hours or so. And on top of that, we also have a ton of liquidity to back our TVL. And our utilization rates in DeFi, which is how many people will use Sweets just beyond holding it, is about 50%, which goes to show that we have a really crypto native audience behind us. And yeah, we're looking forward to sort of just continuing the journey from there. And that's the Voyage as well.
Yeah, and I mean, it's really interesting what is happening in DeFi. It's happening in crypto. Certainly happening in metaverse NFT crypto spaces, but it's happening in just more traditional fintech apps, investing apps. Full stop is this gamification that you're talking about, and I guess part of it is just because the kind of people that are investing today, it's kind of millennials and younger is the the always on, extremely online digital generation, and so they're using digital tools to conduct their investment activity, whether it's like in fintech or crypto or DeFi or NFTs or whatever it is. And I love the kind of the storytelling part of this as well. Collect pearls to become a citizen of the Swell DAO. Join the Voyage. There's like some really cool imagery, undersea. Final destination, Swell City, and there's multiple chapters that can be unlocked. I'm sure you're kind of telling the story into the future, but it's just interesting to see, people really stretch their imaginations, and you can only see this trend continuing, right, Daniel?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of the awesome things about DeFi and crypto generally is that you can do these sort of wonderful experiments and create a real community around a particular idea. Yeah.
I was fascinated also to see with Swell, you guys have some pretty good backers or investors involved. Mark Cuban, Bankless, Framework, Anthony Cicino, and it's some pretty big names there, Daniel.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's we're very sort of fortunate to have the support that we do have from a lot of people that have been in the Ethereum ecosystem since its earliest days and have shown to be good actors within the ecosystem. And I think it's always a challenge to start a new DeFi protocol, but having sort of those sort of associations does help a lot. And yeah, we've been very intentional as well about how we structured the support because we want Swell to be a mainstay of DeFi and the real sort of public good and utility for folks. Not only for the Swell community, obviously that's paramount, but also just for Ethereum and crypto more broadly.
Yeah. What do you think happens into the future, Daniel, as potentially more and more Ethereum is staked? So you said that we're still very early in that staking journey, and obviously we are. I think you said that there are probably several orders of magnitude more Ethereum to be staked along the way. Of course, there'll be a narrative that builds. Then there'll be just that much less, presumably Ethereum just sitting in exchanges available for purchase or trading. What kind of implications do you think that has for Ethereum going forward?
Yeah, I think again we're in the early stages of staking, and that sort of implies we're also in the earlier stages of Ethereum adoption. I think in terms of the Ethereum roadmap, a lot of it's sort of been de-risked out with the merge and also with Chapella and there'll be more stuff that's sort of coming with sharding, account abstraction, and all these sorts of things. But more concretely, in terms of like what will happen in the future, I think what will happen is that we'll have more and more ETH staked. There'll be more and more adoption, and there'll be more and more complexity introduced at various layers of the stack. So even though the ETH is staked, that stake will then be like rehypothecated or used as collateral. And you'll have derivatives, you have synthetics, you have also technologies such as DBT coming through, technologies such as Eigerlay coming through, which will create this sort of daisy chain. And a good analogy is like that DeFi is speedrunning the evolution of TradFi, except it's just going to be on chain, right? And then so that sort of complexity of primitives is coming. There'll be restaking LSTs, there'll be restake LST-backed stablecoins. There'll be all this sort of range of different and interesting things that builders will sort of build out, and hopefully, we see product market fit and capitalism will do its thing. And then hopefully we see more of a confluence as well between sort of TradFi, DeFi, and CeFi, and we do it in a way that sort of learns from the lessons that we had with sort of the mid-2022 onwards implosion of a couple of things. But notwithstanding, DeFi continued to stay despite all that. So I just think there'll be just more complexity, more stake, and more users.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you know? Like if you kind of break down the users that are using Swell and staking their ETH on Swell, do you have any sense of I don't know, like what the average amount of ETH is staked, anything like that?
Yeah. So Swell is a permissionless sort of system. So people can just come in and stake. We do have various analytics, which a community member has kindly put together that highlight some of those particular insights about staking and like average wallet size and that sort of thing. Inevitably, within any bootstrapping phase within DeFi, there is some noise in the data with people trying to spin up wallets and trying to sybil the system. But generally speaking, we have a fairly healthy distribution, I would say, of stakers. Some whales, some smaller, you can call them shrimps or whatever you want to, the marine life analogy is for smaller holders. But ultimately, what we wanted to do was try to build something that that would be diversified, like sort of robust, so that you're not relying on any one particular segment too much. That way, the protocol can have a good base layer from which to continue to scale. And I think if you look at our Dune page and other analytics, hopefully that sort of comes through.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, you did mention that there is a kind of a centralization around, I guess, some of the dominant players, such as Lido. Do we see that slowly going away over time? Is it just because we're early? Is there any concern there?
Well, I think the Ethereum community has sort of voiced concerns just generally about any single entity. It would probably be a disservice to point out Lido explicitly. It just happens to be that they've, achieved excellent product market fit, and they've earned trust and yeah. So it's incumbent on sort of builders such as myself to try and compete on that. And if the social layer wants to do something, well, then the social layer can do something. All right, that's up to them. But from a builder's perspective, it's about sort of trying to compete and offer more incentives and commercial terms and what have you. That being said, though, they are close to hitting a third consensus threshold if they haven't done so already. I think it's about 32% at the moment. But ultimately, is it better for stake to be with the more decentralized protocol like Lido versus centralized exchanges? The answer is yes. Is it better to have just a diversity of decentralized protocols rather than one? The answer is yes. But the question is, how do we get there? So that has proved so far to be slightly intractable in some ways. But I think hopefully the market does its thing, and we sort of we'll figure it out as we go along. And yeah, who knows?
Well, let's give you the opportunity to, I guess, sell your side of the story. Why should, make the pitch if there's someone listening who has, or they might even have 32 ETH, but maybe they only have 10, maybe they have several thousand ETH, you never know. But why should that person come and look at Swell? What are the advantages that they can take advantage of by using Swell over one of the other platforms?
Yeah, I think the first thing is probably just to caveat everything we're saying, like it's not financial advice, and you should do your own research, right? And if that leads you to the conclusion, that you should stake with Swell, then go for it. What I can say is I've staked with Swell, the corporate community staked with Swell, and at the same time, we try to build something that we thought would be compelling for people because we're doing it not only for stakers but also for the ecosystem at large. And in more practical terms, we are heavily incentivizing this, and we're in a period where we're pre-token, and the Pearl campaign has seen reasonable traction and product market fit, and we're continuing to scale out. On the audit side, we're audited by Sigma Prime, which also audited top liquid staking protocols and was involved in the sort of the Ethereum protocol layer as well. In addition to the fact that we have like a unified bug bounty and all the sort of usual checklists that people do when they're trying to diligence something. But I would just encourage people, to have a think about it, and if it makes sense for you, then we would love to have you on board.
Awesome. All right. Well, as we finish off this part of the podcast, then Daniel, just tell people if they do want to check it out, what should they go? So what should they do? Where should they go?
Yeah, 100%. Just you can jump onto swellnetwork.io. That's our website. Make sure you check that. There's our Twitter as well. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and just jump in the Discord too. The team's there to sort of help answer any questions. And then we're sort of here to help. But it's pretty simple. You just jump on the website, click on stake, and then pop in the amount you want to stake, and off and away.
Awesome. Links, of course, will be in the show notes as well. Listeners, let's go to a very quick break, and then we'll come back. We'll have some fun. We'll run Daniel through the very famous Crypto Conversation hot take round back in 1 second.
This episode is sponsored by Coinsbee, your digital pocket for spending crypto. With an extensive selection of brands available in 185 countries and supporting over 200 cryptos, Coinsbee turns your digital assets into gift cards, game points, phone top-ups, and even Visa MasterCard prepaid cards. Plus, with fast checkouts using your favorite crypto, or even speedier with Binance Pay, Coinsbee makes it simple to spend your crypto. Visit Coinsbee.com today and get honey for your crypto money.
All right, we are back, and I'm with Daniel Dizon. Daniel is the founder and CEO at Swell, or Swell Labs, looking after the Swell protocol, DAO, and ecosystem. Of course, Swell is a non-custodial ETH liquid staking protocol. Daniel, I like to finish each podcast with a quick round of rapid-fire crypto conversation hot takes. Are you up for it?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, just want kind of quick, snappy hot take style answers. Daniel, I think you'll be... this will be good. Question one, I think, look, we know the answer, but where do you sit on the Bitcoin maximalist to multi-chain opportunist spectrum?
Yeah, I think both play an important role, but you want diversity for sure. So opportunity.
Yeah, and so look, I mean, understand you're very much a DeFi person, very much supporting the wider Ethereum ecosystem. But you said it, you said it yourself at the beginning. You come from, I guess, crypto first principles, shall we say, which do kind of start with Bitcoin. So describe your, I suppose, your views on Bitcoin today and Bitcoin's place in the wider crypto ecosystem.
I think Bitcoin's important for adoption and will be sort of a gateway to other aspects of crypto. Bitcoin's important and sort of paved the way for a lot of this stuff. Initially, yes, there's been some criticism about the community and potentially toxicity around that, but I think overall net benefit.
All right. Well, what would you say is your firmest conviction crypto opinion, Daniel?
I think that Ethereum is sort of the de facto base layer for the future of finance, and hopefully will be for the internet.
Yeah, nice. All right. Well, Bill Gates famously said that we tend to overestimate what we can accomplish in 2 years and underestimate what we can accomplish in 10. As a crypto builder, you'll be all too familiar with that. But at the same time, 10 years in blockchain is a very long time. So 10 years forward, the future of finance, Ethereum, what does it look like in 10 years' time?
I hope it's stronger. I hope it's a bit of a hockey stick sort of thing on all the key metrics. And I think as well, it's like sort of blockchain is in some ways an antithesis to AI, and sort of having that balance between the privacy preserving, sort of independent, sort of all that sort of stuff on one side, and this AI thing on the other side. hopefully we see those coming to end and those counteracting forces to ultimately benefit like humanity, which is the center of everything, I think, as far as technology is concerned. Yeah.
Sure, and look, it's an interesting time in terms of AI technology, future of money. UBI as a potential fix for AI-induced automation. It could be something like WorldCoin, fascinating experiment happening there. But UBI, whether it's WorldCoin or something else, is that a good idea or a bad idea?
I think, just generally speaking, I'm probably not I don't know enough to comment on it, but it sounds in theory like a good idea, and I probably can't see another way out of it if everything's sort of competed away to, there's infinite production of goods and services, and then, well, how do you consume those goods and services? And like the market pricing mechanism is so critical, and how do you do that without butchering everything? Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah. William Gibson famously said that the future is already here, it's just not evenly distributed. Can you think of an example of the future being here right now, Daniel, but most people aren't aware of it?
Yeah, I'm sort of convinced that there's a lot of sort of technologies that just haven't been available to the public, maybe out of public interest or public good, but there will be this there's this idea of this singularity with AI, and then what you want to do with those maximum power is to not concentrate that power but evenly distribute it as much as possible, and that's a counteracting force to that. So I would say I'm sure there's some crazy technology that we haven't seen.
Yep. No doubt. All right, let's start to finish off. Time to get weird just for a second, Daniel. If we zoom out, what do you see as the long-term future for the human race? Do you see dystopia or utopia?
Yeah, I'm a perpetual optimist, so yeah, utopia for sure. I have to be, right?
Yeah, exactly right. All right, and that brings us nicely to our final question. What is your favorite science fiction book, film, or TV show?
I've got to think about that one. I think probably Interstellar, I suppose. Yeah.
Christopher Nolan. Have you seen Oppenheimer yet?
Oh, I'm planning to. Probably a weekend thing.
Yeah, be a weekend thing for us as well. We're hopefully seeing it this weekend. Very much looking forward to it. All right. Well, I guess that brings us to the end of the show, Daniel. Thank you so much for coming on. Just to finish off again, tell people where they can find you on Twitter. And of course, if they've got some Ethereum sitting around not doing much, you should stake that Ethereum, folks. Tell people what they can do if they want to just, stake it using Swell.
Yeah, definitely. So my handle is Daniel_Swell_. So yeah, feel free to give me a follow. But yeah, if you want sort of all the alpha and Swell and all the stuff we're doing, definitely follow Swell Network IO. That's our Twitter handle. And if you want to sort of get involved in staking, feel free to. All the links are there in our Twitter bio, and the team is here to support. If you jump in our Discord, very happy to help.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Daniel. All the best, and bye for now.
Thanks, Andy. Cheers.
All right, there you go. That was Daniel from Swell. Very nice guy. And Swell does look very good. Super easy to stake your ETH. Liquid staking made simple. Yeah. So swellnetwork.io if you've got some Ethereum that you haven't yet staked. Simple as that. Thank you for listening to another podcast, team. Please do make sure you are subscribed to the Crypto Conversation in whatever podcast app you are using. But that is it for today. This was the Crypto Conversation for Brave New Coins.